Well, hello. I want to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is a show where I look at the pens and inks that are in use this week. So if content like this appeals to you, videos about fountain pens and such, feel free to subscribe below. And I'm going to talk about some pens that I like, that I use quite often, so maybe you have a pen that you use all the time, or a pen that you think you would use all the time and you don't. Feel free to comment about that below. So the pens I have in use this week are, from left to right, this is a Russian pen. It's actually not in use, but I brought it mostly because I mentioned it to somebody and couldn't describe it, so it's not ready to be inked up yet for reasons. I have my Penal Ambassador Special, Noodler's Conrad, a Centropen, not quite like Baby. I have an Aurora 88, a Justus 95, a Pon 50, no, I'm sorry, this is a Pon Senior, and then a Senator 140. So let's take a look at how these guys are writing. I've got my, I'll put it up here. I have my Bomo art journal. I am soon going to be filming a review of this also. Let's get this mat properly positioned here. So before I show you any pens, writing, I would like to just show you this. This is a Russian pen. Soviet, I should say. I don't have my information down here handy, but I don't know, definitely a Parker knockoff. This is a little different. Push button converter? Not quite. More like an accordion. If this doesn't hold ink, I don't know what I'm going to do. And looking at that blue, I think I've got a lot of cleaning ahead of me before I use it. What's kind of neat, I mentioned in a letter to a pen pal about a fish inside of it swimming back and forth. Yeah. I don't know if the bubble was original or if the liquid has just started to evaporate or leak out. But anyway, quite a different sort of a pen. The gold plate, if it even is gold plate, is definitely wearing off here, so interesting. If I can get this one writing and cleaned out, it will never be a favorite because ew, but it is interesting. Now, what is writing is my Penal Ambassador Special. And I'm told that this logo here is pretty unique. This is a pen I restored over Christmas break. This pen is certainly destined to be one of my favorites. It has that slim black thing going on and an amazing nib. And it's a little uncommon. This is a Danish brand pen. My next pen is one I've had for several years. I am thinking about filming a revisit. This is a Noodler's Conrad. Oh, railroaded. That is kind of a Noodler's thing. Some of them are better at flex writing than others. In general, with the Noodlers, I have to write more slowly. And you can see that when I'm flexing, if I slow down, it's not railroading. This is a very attractive color ink. I kind of would prefer it without the fake blackberry smell, because it really smells nothing like blackberries. Now this next pen is kind of an interesting one. This is a Centropen. The celluloid on it looks a lot like Baby. This is Baby, and this is the other Centropen. I mean, the same celluloid. This Centropen has a little bit more interesting finials. The differences stop here. There we go. One has a fantastic, very flexible gold nib. The other one has a steel nib that may have been gold plated, and the gold plate has come off of it from the looks of things. I don't know if I can even capture that with this camera. This one, the new one, it's not quite the Soviet style converters I've seen on some of the old Soviet pens, but it's very similar to them. Maybe a little bit more well designed. And of course, Baby is a piston filler. Of course, the important part is going to be how they write. So this is a Centropen. This is another one that required some cleaning before I dared to use it. On the side here, on the barrel is engraved Centropen 10014 and then a 313. I'm not sure what the 313 is. That's something I'll have to look up. This pen is definitely not a flex pen. I'm pretty sure that's a steel nib. The ink in it is Noodler's Purple Heart. Of course, I'm using my Aurora 88 that I inked up for the video earlier this week. And this is the vintage pen. And what is this ink called? Sailor Jentle Fuji-musume. I actually filmed, kind of simultaneously with filming all of this, a video where I compared this pen with the more modern Aurora 88. You have seen, or at least it's available to you, my review of the modern 88. Expect next week my comparison video. This is the flex nib, which as far as I know has no size, at least nothing's written on the nib. I feel like it's a fine, but I do not know that. And then, of course, my Pilot Justus 95. Also inked up so I can do a re-review. This is the fine nib version. And the ink is KWZ, Iron Gall, Violet number 2. Kind of a fun pen. It has, I've probably shown you this before, or I should wait till the re-review, but it has a dial to adjust it from hard to soft. And it makes, you know, not lots of difference, but it definitely makes a difference. It's fun. It's an enjoyable pen. This is another one of my restoration projects. This is a Pon, oops, too close. A Pon Senior. Wow, and this close you can see all the dust that's on the pen. Yipe. This finish is kind of majestic. Chris Rap 52 did a video this week on the Parker Vacumatic. Let's see if we can find it here. Where he pointed out about how this is a sheet of celluloid that was wrapped around. Yep, there it is. And it was showing the seam. So there it is. I was struck immediately by the similarity of this pen and the Vacumatic. Yep, there's the seam on the cap. And just for comparison purposes, this is a pen I need to do a review on. This is the problem with having too many pens. This is a Parker Vacumatic. You can see, you can't see the translucency. It's definitely more translucent than the Pon 52. But here we go. Parker Vacumatic. For those of you who can read the date code, there you go. I will talk about that when I review it. But let's give it a spin. See if I can find the seam again. Uh-oh. Oh, you can see a little translucency there. Doggone, they did a good job hiding that seam. Let me see if I can do it with naked eye. Wow, this is awkward. I cannot find that seam. Okay, I found it on, maybe on the cap? I think it might be hidden in the dark part of the pen where I can't really pick it out. I am just not seeing it. Huh. Interesting. And I found it when I was upstairs in the sunlight, so maybe it's just the wrong light down here to see it. I will say this Parker Vacumatic, nice writer, not a flex pen at all. Very hard, which is okay. It serves its purpose. Vacumatic filler, kind of a pain to clean this puppy out. This one is a button filler, which made it a pain to put together. All right, so this is a Pon Senior. It's a Norwegian pen, probably from the 1950s, although I do not know. So this is Pelikan 4001, dark green. Okay, my second to last pen. Pen that was first revealed, I don't know, before Christmas. It's almost empty now. But this is a Senator 140. The ink is Sailor, Jentle, Epinard, one of my all-time favorites. And my last pen is the pen that's almost always inked up, especially in the winter, Lamy 2000. So those are my pens that I have in use this week. I hope you saw something there that was interesting. I just thought I would mention in closing here, since usually it's on these videos that I get a little chatty. With the new year, I decided to try out a few changes to my channel. One viewer, trying to remember his username. I know his real name, and I don't want to give that away. I know Jerry is part of his username, so I'm safe saying that much. 550? I think it's 550. Jerry 550. Anyway, he suggested using thumbnails with some branding on them. So you'll see on this video, I had a collection of pens laying on a notebook. Actually, a very nice notebook. Another one I'll be reviewing one of these days. Except not this particular one, because this one kind of got smashed in the mail. But that one side is decent looking. Yeah, nice notebook. Blank on one side, lined on the other. Also have it grid and lined. But anyway, so I just threw a collection of eye-catching pens and some plain pens as contrast on top of it. And I'm going to use that as my thumbnail for pens in use. And then for my regular reviews, I'm going to... it's actually going to be part of my workflow. Before, I would always put the title screen and then the whole dizzle-dazzle behind it, the bokeh lights. Instead, I'm going to do a photograph of the pen laying on top of this mat that this notebook's laying on. And then the title beside it. And I think, that it's not really any extra work for me to do it that way. And I think it gives somebody looking through that, oh, this is a channel about pens. So he had a good idea. And at first, I had all kinds of fancy ideas in my mind. I was going to use green screen. I was going to do, I have a stuffed squirrel. Where'd he go? Stuffed squirrel here that my mother made for me. He was going to hold the pens. I had... Anyway, I had all kinds of wild and crazy ideas. And in the end, I decided, let's go simple. Plain brown mat. My pen holder is... I don't know where it wandered off to. Oh, there it is. Pen holder, pen. Except more lined up and planned. And then I just would naturally put the title on the screen anyway, so I thought, heck, why not? So, yeah, thank you, Jerry, for that wonderful idea. Took me long enough, but I finally figured out in my own mind how to make it work. I also did some reading about, just engaging with your viewers, so hopefully I'll be a little more engaging. My whole invitation to subscribe and my, here's something to comment on is part of me trying to be more engaging. Trying to do more animated delivery. This is the fountain pen channel. I'm not going to lose my personality just for that. But I've been rewatching a couple of my driving videos and going, ooh. So I'm going to try and animate those better. Just, edit better, have a better outline. I can't script. If I start reading off a script, I'm reading. So I have an outline, but I can't do a script. But I need to do a better job with my outlines, plan out my sources and everything just ahead of time. So I'll be working on that. Also, these traveling videos are kind of fun, so a little bit of that too. I've been calling them bullfrog style videos because that's a channel that I watch that does that kind of video only on the East Coast. But my videos where I talk about research, those will continue. Just whenever I get into a topic that interests me. I will also be doing more book reviews, so I've done one so far. Expect more. And like I said, some notebook and paper reviews this year, just to kind of space this out. A few more revisits to old favorites that I have kept. You'd be kind of... I don't even want to know how many pens I've ever owned. It would be a little terrifying, I think, to realize how many I've owned and given away. So, anyway, I thank you for watching. If this sort of video with fountain pens and inks interests you, feel free to subscribe. And if you have... a pen that you're always using or a pen that you never use, feel free to talk about that down below. So I thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.